Coming up next, my 5 favorite perfumes if you're starting your niche collection. Done videos like this in the past, but it's always good to kind of update it, especially for people who haven't seen this video. But these are 5 fragrances that I think are excellent entry point perfumes into the niche world if you're trying to make that jump. Find out what they are coming up next. Welcome back, everybody, to JoelTheNose here at Osme Perfumery. And today's video, as you heard, is a list of what I consider the 5 of the best. When I do these lists, I'm always picking kind of what I feel right now. It doesn't mean this is something that doesn't change, but right now, this is a list of what I think are great 5, a list of what I think are great 5 great perfumes for starting your niche journey. And by the way, these are great even if you are well along in your niche journey. They're great perfumes, but I do think that they offer somewhat of a kind of transition point from the designer world to the niche world if you're looking to kind of make that jump and you're kind of starting to see maybe some of my videos and other fragrance reviewer videos about niche fragrances and you're like, yeah, you're getting interested. These are going to be ones that I think you should check out. So in no particular order, let's get right into this. This is 8 and Bob, the original. 8 and Bob from 8 and Bob. So the brand or the house is 8 and Bob. 8 and Bob from France. This is the classic or the original. And to me, I've said this before in other videos, this was really my first true niche perfume that I ever owned. Probably got it about 5 or 6 years ago, and it just, to me, it was like the gateway drug into the niche world. It's fresh, it's spicy. I believe it's got grapefruit in here, lemon. So it gives you this kind of almost like little biting quality that it just, works well. I gave a bottle of this to one of my sons when he was 17 or 18, and it was his favorite perfume, loved it. So it works well, not just for young people, but it's also, I think, very classic and timeless. It has that kind of Fougere quality, that just works well in any situation. 8 and Bob, again, if you don't know the story, it's named after this because it's a fragrance that JFK found when he was in France and started to wear, so the name comes from 8 and Bob, which is a reference to his brother, Bobby Kennedy. So check it out, you can Google the story, it's pretty interesting. Whether it's true or not, who knows, but it's a great story. All right, next. One of the really classics in the last few years, originally came out under Suspiro and then brought back under the main XERJOFF family, Erba Pura. Take a look at that. Really kind of started what I think in the last 3 or 4 years, this really big fruity perfume explosion. Again, it was released under Suspiro maybe 10 years ago, and it was there, it did okay, and then once it was re-released kind of under the XERJOFF name, which is the, also Suspiro, it just took off. And this is, if you come here to Osme, it's been the top performing selling fragrance for years. It's still right up there. There's some other ones that maybe have dethroned it a little bit, like God of Fire, which is interestingly a very kind of similar smelling fragrance. But Erba Pura, XERJOFF, you can't go wrong. I had to put a XERJOFF fragrance in here because it's such high quality, and I could have put, just any number of fragrances in there. The reason why I picked this one is because this is really good, such a good unisex fragrance. And just as many women as men love this. Sometimes men, I think, shy away a little bit from it because it's a little bit fruity and sweet. But you really gotta, it just works. If you put it on your skin and you try it, it just attracts people. This is one of those fragrances that attracts people. It gets you noticed if you're looking for that. And again, it's easy to wear. It's not like too crazy or out there or harsh. It's smooth, it's sweet, it's well-rounded, it's a little bit powdery, and it's gonna last you 8 to 10 hours. So great fragrance, Erba Pura. Next, I'm gonna go to, so So that was the Italian house of XERJOFF. I'm going back to France for MONTALE Woods and Spices. I'm sorry, Woods. Wood and Spices. I made it plural. Wood and Spices. This is just, let me spray it here. Whoop, had it the wrong way. There we go. This one kind of, it's on my finger here. This one is in that kind of same vein as 8 and Bob, has that just classic, fresh, really universal, very appealing, very basic fragrance. It's not going to stand out. It's not going to necessarily like, whoa, what are you wearing? But it's going to be one that people appreciate on you. You appreciate on yourself. It's going to smell good all day. It's going to be, again, something that you can wear in any situation. You can wear it to work. You could wear it to an event. You could wear it to a date. You could wear it just hanging out during the day, wherever. Very, very versatile fragrance. MONTALE, I think, is really one of the good niche perfume houses because you get high quality fragrances for a good price. $180 roughly for 100 milliliters. So you're under $2 per milliliter for a quality niche house. Tough to beat, tough to beat. And Woods and Spices, again, if you're starting your collection, or if you just want to add a really good kind of everyday go-to, just dumb grab, as they say, or just kind of not even thinking about it, getting out of the shower, grabbing a fragrance, this is one of those. Next, and this is one that's, just came onto my radar really in the last couple of years. This is from, going back to Italy now. So we have 2 Italian houses now and 2 French houses. This is from Nobile, 1942. This is Fougere Nobile. And boy, I did a video on this probably about 1.5 years ago when I first got into it. And I really hyped it up because I loved it. It was one of these ones that the minute I smelled it, I bought it. It's one of the most frequently worn fragrances in my collection. And if you're like me, which I'm sure I know a lot of you are, you have many, many fragrances. And the reality is you can only wear so many of them, so some don't get worn as much as others. That's just the reality. This is one of those fragrances that I wear all the time. Again, it's a Fougere, so there's a theme here. I think these Fougeres are really good, basic, entry-level fragrances because it's really when it comes, especially to masculine fragrances, or even though these are all unisex. I want to reiterate that, but some of these lean a little bit more masculine. Fougere fragrances just are classic. They're timeless. They are like the original men's fragrance, Fougere. And so like this one, just some of the notes. Let me read them to you. Get my glasses here. You've got lavender, okay, Fougere, bergamot, basil, elemi, geranium. You have aldehyde C12, which gives this like kind of this sparkling quality. I love aldehyde in the right amount, and it just gives it this really kind of uplifting, sparkling quality. It has tobacco, just a hint, vetiver, tonka bean, patchouli, sandalwood, and white musk. Just wonderful, wonderful fragrance. People have come up to me who have seen videos I did on this before and literally bought it and have now bought multiple bottles. I know one guy who I see maybe once a month, and after I did this video 1.5 years ago, his wife got it for him, and I think he's already on his 3rd bottle. So, great fragrance, Fougere Nobile. And last but not least, certainly not certainly not least, is Elysium from ROJA Parfums, ROJA Dove. Again, this is this one maybe of all 5, I think is the perfect entry-level niche fragrance from designer. It has some of that designer quality as far as if you like that smell, that kind of Bleu de Chanel, Aqua de Jo, Sauvage, all the classic fragrances, men's fragrances from the last 10 years. I think this is like the evolution of that. This takes those fragrances, in my mind, to the next level and gets you into the niche world. Is it my favorite ROJA Dove fragrance? Not at all. There's so many more that I love because it's such a quality house that really does some unique perfume work. But this one, I think, hits all the right notes. It's fresh. Again, it's got some grapefruit. They just came out with the parfum version. This is the Eau de Parfum, the EDP. They just came out with an extrait, which they kind of tease the notes around a little bit. It's actually, I think, pretty different for a flanker and for just a higher concentration. I think it is actually a pretty different fragrance, but I still recommend this one if you're just kind of starting out and you're getting into the niche world. Elysium, again, if you like that kind of fresh, citrusy, masculine, appealing, and this is going to get you compliments. It's going to get you noticed. It is going to get that person who you want to notice you and get close to you and smell you. This will do the job. So there you have it, my top 5 entry level, as I say. But again, I say that with quotes because these are good for anybody, any niche collector. But if you're just starting and you're kind of a little bit nervous or you're like not sure which fragrances to get, any one of these 5 are going to be great ones for you to start with. Check them out. I'll be back soon with another video. Thank you as always for watching. Peace, love, and perfume.